It's Vernisa, and I'm here to speak up. It's time to speak up. Hello everyone, my name is Vernisa, and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far and a lovely March. For the new listeners out there, the mission statement for this podcast is we'll use our voices to motivate people to overcome life's challenges through self-love and respect. So yes, this is the place for self-love and respect. So welcome, subscribe, tell your friends, all that. Before I get started though, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to the Event Wellness LLC. Book now with the Event Wellness LLC for massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, and health and wellness events. Ask for Michelle. Book now at the Event Wellness. Also, shout out to my newest sponsor, Culture Curl Studio, calling all curl friends. Raquel Norico, owner and lead stylist of Culture Curl Studio on the island of Maui, and Waluku is the island's first curly hair salon. Be sure to follow them on IG at Culture Curl Studio and book an appointment today. She also has some amazing products for the curly heads out there, so please tap in. So tonight's episode, it's a little different. I'm not going to do a structured episode. It's actually going to be more of a blogging type of episode. As you can see, tonight's episode is titled Push Through It. So I will be talking about my first marathon. I actually just ran the 2024 LA Marathon, and honestly, it was definitely an amazing experience. As you can see, I got my medal. I worked so hard to get this, and the reason why I chose to do this episode, I actually got a bunch of messages after I accomplished the marathon, like, people asking, how did I get it done? Different things about the training, different tips they recommended. People talked about how it inspired them to want to run a marathon. So I was like, why won't I just talk about it? I feel like, one thing I learned about running, anybody can run. It doesn't have a look to it, doesn't have an age, none of that. Like literally out there during the LA Marathon, I seen all ages, everything, all different physical physiques, everything. I hear this saying that says you don't look like a runner. Running does not have a look to it. First of all, start there. And I've been running. I always liked running, but I never took the time to actually do it. And I actually just started running more seriously for the past, about a year and a half. And I joined a run club called Keep It 100. Shout out to them. And I just started going. I would just walk at first, and I would jog a little. And then before I looked up, the miles just kept adding up. And then I looked up, I started pushing myself to different levels. And running has taught me so much when it comes to life. Like, you literally can keep elevating, and, you can actually go up, there's no limit to running. I learned that too. Like, and it taught me that with life, like, why are we limiting ourselves every day? I think of so many things where I put a cap on myself, and running has actually taught me to not do so. It taught me that it is possible to push yourself to new limits, to push yourself out of the comfort zone. And I think this LA Marathon meant a lot to me because it's actually one of the hardest marathons. They talk about that. And, to actually be a part of that. It was such a beautiful day that day. And I'll get into more detail about the actual day, but I do want to talk about the preparation that it took for me. I want to say it's never too late to do anything. We're always got something going on in life. There's never no right time to start something. I really believe if there's something you really want to do it, because you're always going to have some type of challenge around you, something going on. And if we keep saying, oh, after this happens, I'll do it, after this, you'll never do it. And I think I was really proud of myself because despite some of the mental challenges I was going through, things I was just going through in my life, I still just stuck to running. And I actually fell in love with running. It actually became one of my outlets, something that if I don't do it, I'm like missing it, so, it definitely has to be something that you enjoy doing. I'm not saying force yourself to do anything, but if you're just something you really want to accomplish, you definitely have to put the work in. A marathon is something that you definitely have to train for. Like, it is not something you just run out there and do cold turkey. It's not even just physical strength. It takes mental strength. And I think mental strength is actually more important than the physical, because I was telling somebody today that it doesn't matter how fit you are, how much you run, like your body, you're going to feel something. And, honestly, your mind is what's going to get you through it. And I think, running has taught me patience. It taught me to trust the process, and that it doesn't always be easy. I went through a lot of challenges while training for this, even self-doubt. Like if you would have asked me 4 years ago if I was going to run a marathon, I would have looked at you like I was crazy, like you were crazy, because I've never even thought of running a marathon, dreamed of it, but it's crazy how once I joined running, I saw I was that, I was like, you know what, let me take on this new challenge and do it. It's so much like to really talk about, but like basically like, people have asked me questions like, how did I prepare for it? How long was I training for it? I trained for the marathon, I want to say about 3 to 4 months. I was running with a crew, with people 100 consistently for about, like I said, 1.5 years. And like, I would just run like once or twice a week with them. And like, I run a lot by myself. And I did my first half marathon in October, and we ran through South Central. It was amazing. And, I remember that being such a challenge. And that's 13 miles, I got the point wrong, but it's 13 miles and some change. And I remember 13 miles feeling like so much. Like I remember that feeling like, oh my goodness. And I remember a point where 5 miles seemed like a lot. Like I remember, oh my goodness, 2 miles at that, so as I just kept going, pushing myself, like, okay, I'm gonna do 2, I'm gonna do 3, I'm gonna do 4, and pushing myself to the next level, that's actually when running got fun for me. I think running really got fun for me when I started doing long run Sundays. So, the group that I run with, they do long run Sundays where it's 6 to 10 miles. And that's when it got really good, because I feel like when I was just running once a week, I was only doing like 2 to 3 miles. So I got comfortable in that, and it was time to kick it up a notch. And I think things really got interesting when I pushed myself to 6, 7, 8 miles. And once you see you can do it, it's like, oh, what else can I do? And I think that's the thing with life. You do something, you accomplish something, what's next? I remember somebody really wise in my life said, never stop having goals. You really kind of stop living when you stop having goals and dreams. There's no end point like, okay, I did this, now what? No, it's always like, I think we should always strive for the next thing, accomplish, and just see what else you can do and who else you can inspire. And running has taught me that, like, you really can push yourself. Like, it's at a point where a mile seems like nothing to me when it used to seem like so much, and I got to that point where I'm correcting people when they're like, oh my goodness, a mile. And I'm like, no, like, it's easy to say that now, but once you start running and really getting getting used to it, you see how your mindset of it literally changes. But like I said, I did my first half marathon in October. I remember that feeling like so much. I was so sore after. It was like so much for me. And then, I heard LA Marathon was coming up. And that was, March of 2024. Here we are in October 2023. People were telling me like, oh, you should do it. You should do it. And I remember feeling like, oh, that's a lot. I was thinking like I'll do a marathon a whole another year, something like that. And then I remember just still showing up for myself, going to this run club, pushing myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I remember signing up, being terrified. I don't even know what I'm doing. I heard a lot of things about the LA Marathon, like about the route. They say it's one of the hardest marathons. I want to tell you guys, like, there's a lot of hills. And it also has a loop where, you get to like mile 18 and 19, and you literally still have a bunch of miles to go, and you see people finishing or about to finish. And, that's a lot. I heard about it and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But, I was like equipped for the challenge. So, like, I want y'all to see, this is like a map of what it looks like. Like, it's crazy. Like, you literally start all the way at Dodger Stadium and you end in Century City. So that's a big gap. And it's 26.2 miles. And I was like, I've never done anything like this in my life. The training looked a lot like me just increasing mileage. Shout out to Butta of Keeper 100. He definitely was a huge part of my training process, trained me and many others through this. And I really love, the schedule that he had in place for us, just a mile increases, taking time to, take care of ourselves. People think running is just running, and it's like, no, it's so much that goes into it. The strength training, the rest, even like, engaging in other activities, to keep your body strong and healthy. So I learned so much about my body and how far I could push myself and what things I can do. If I could do something more different, I would say I would try to strength train more, because I didn't learn that till towards the end, how important that really was, because I was just used to just running. And it's like, there's so much that goes into running. It's really not just your legs. People think it's just your legs. No, it's your arms, it's your back, it's muscles on your sides, it's your glutes, it's everything is working when you're running. So I really learned like the importance of all that stuff, the proper nutrition, the proper rest. You have to rest your body. So entering this and, kind of cold turkey and learning all these things all at once in such a small amount of time, I did a lot. I was like, it made me realize a whole lot of things. The process looked a lot like, pushing myself on long run Sundays, doing new miles I've never done before, engaging in activities, making time to strength train. I think one of the things is too, if you're training for a marathon, it's going to take up some of your time and it's going to take a lot of sacrifices. And when I say sacrifices, like if you have to get up to do an early morning run, yeah, you can't stay out late, you have to watch what you're eating, you have to limit, alcohol intake, things like that. Like I really had to get disciplined during this season, because if I wanted to make it to that finish line, like there was a lot of preparation that came with that, and that's with life. I feel like any goal that you're chasing, there's going to be some type of sacrifice, discipline you're going to have. And I think running goes hand in hand with this show with this podcast. I focus on self-love and inner peace and life in general. I remember some of the sacrifices I had to make when it came to that, still battling life in general. Like I had a lot of little baby challenges that were happening, but I still had to show up for myself and attend these runs, make sure I was getting the proper rest that I needed, eating properly and not just comfort eating because of whatever I was going through at the time. So it definitely pushed me to different levels that I haven't been to. I also had to rewire my self-talk. I had to really, I've been working on myself. My self-talk has improved so much over the years, but I had to even take it to another level, like really, not be afraid of the miles anymore. Like, oh my goodness, we're doing this many. Like really take it like, okay, I'm going to handle this, or I'm going to figure out how to get through it. And then the patience that comes with running, I want to say like, being patient with your body. You may be running and some days you have good days where it's like you're gone, like you're sprinting, you're feeling great, your energy is the best. And you got days where your body just ain't having it. And like learning to be patient with your body when it really doesn't feel like running, or that it's literally giving you all it could give. I heard even the best runners have days like that where it ain't their best. And another thing I learned was, not paying attention to other people. I think, we're running or in life, and this goes with life. If you're watching somebody else's other chapter and you're in your chapter, you're not going to get nothing done because you're too busy comparing yourself. And that's same with running. That may be somebody's good day, something that they probably been running longer than you, and you're just starting out. You really literally have to pay attention to your own journey and how you feel. So doing all these things, working on how I talk to myself, telling myself I can finish it, I feel like that strengthened me and prepared me for it. Running requires a lot of reflecting. When you're running, especially when your AirPods die, your phone die, you can't listen to music. It's a lot of thinking that goes into that. It's a lot of self-reflection that plays a role. I feel like I would take that time to talk to God, things like that, and have a lot of self-realization. Running became very emotional for me too. Like I had days where I would run and I literally start crying because it's like I felt so good, or like I felt like I was letting out things that I was holding in. So you have to find a therapy within the run too, especially when something's hard. Find the good in it, and push yourself to the next level. And so yeah, that's one thing that happened on the process. So then let's kind of skip up. Let's say the marathon was like kind of, we'll say a month or two away. Looking good, feeling good. Back to the strength training. Like I said, I wasn't strength training as much as I should have. As we were pushing ourselves and increasing our mileage, we pushed ourselves to 18 miles. I've never done that before, right? I had a great first start of it. I think the first 14 miles were amazing. I was like, ooh, I'm getting there. And my knees started acting up out of nowhere. And I had to literally limp back to complete the 18. And, that's when I realized, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my goodness, my knee maybe I'm not stretching right. Basically, I ended up doing some research and realizing that, it was my IT band. And that's like the part of, it's a long part of your leg, from your kneecap all the way up your thigh, and it kind of stops like at your lower back. And, when that gets tight, it pulls on your knee. So they call that runner's knee. That's one of the, it's one of the types of runner's knee. And, that it hurt really bad. I remember just feeling like a hot mess, like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And I had to literally, really start taking care, really take care of myself even more, take more time to stretch, work on the muscles that support that, take the time to get a massage. I really went and I took care of myself and got a massage. And, shout out to Michelle. She's actually one of my sponsors. She was able to rub out the tightness of that part. But I want to say there's 2 challenges arise. It actually scared me because the marathon was literally around the corner. And when that started happening, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I signed up, I made it this far, and it was, but I'm proud of myself for not giving up on myself or letting that stop me. Because I feel like sometimes when things get hard, especially when it comes to our body, it's easy just to be like, okay, I'm not doing this. But I love that I still kept showing up, even doing smaller runs if I had to. That's the thing with running too. Like sometimes your body isn't the best. Sometimes you are in pain, and it's like, it's okay to still, do a little bit, doing what you can do. So I still was showing up, doing what I can do through that. And, once, so I started taking better care of my knee. And like I said, it started feeling better. But I was still like, oh my goodness, like hopefully I can make it to this finish line. But you know what? I just kept telling myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And that's when that mental toughness comes in. Because, there were people that ran the marathon that had worse injuries and still got out there, so it's like, this is something that happens once a year. If you already signed up, you're prepped for it. I was like, I'm going to push myself. If I feel okay, I'm going to take care of my body and not compare myself to other people. Now let's get into race day and things like that. I mean, I was super nervous. I want to tell you guys, it was like crazy, LA Marathon, like I said, it ended in Century City. So, they let you park, at the finish line so you can just go to your car after the race. So I did that, right? Me and my homegirl that I ran with. And we took a shuttle, all the way to Dodger Stadium to the starting line. And I think the scariest part was taking that shuttle and like getting on the freeway and seeing how far, like basically like, dang, I got to run back to my car, which is 26.2 miles. And all you people from LA, y'all know Dodger Stadium and Century City, you passing downtown LA, Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, all that to get back there. It's a long stretch. And I think that honestly scared me. Like, what am I about to do right now? And, but I was proud that I was like, I'm here. We're going to do this. Seeing all the other runners. It was just so cool to see runners from different countries, different states, all shapes and sizes, ages, everything, nationalities, everything. I was pumped. I was like, I'm training for this day. And I remember like on my solo runs, I would just picture myself getting my medal, like, knowing I'm going to do this, even if it hurts. And, to make it to that day and know, okay, I'm still going to do this. I'm here, It was beautiful to see thousands of people there. It was thousands of people at the marathon, like just ready to pumped up. And, the run actually started. And, I just remember telling myself I'm going to pace myself. So I had a wonderful first 6 miles. I was like gone. I was in my zone. And then when the heels started kicking in, remember you guys, I still had my knee issue. So I paced myself towards those times. And I told myself, this is my first marathon. I'm going to be gentle with myself because, I still didn't know how my body was going to react. And, I've never ran 26.2 miles in my life. The most I ever got to, you guys, was 18. And most of it, and the last of it, I had to kind of limp back because of my knee. And, they say when you increase your mileage with running, you actually end up, you end up noticing more things about your body, like what needs to be worked on. So that's really what happened to me. I saw what muscles in me were weaker that was causing my knee to have pain. So when I got to the first hill, I was like, I'm gonna take it easy. And I did. That's exactly what I did. I think the tip I would really give anyone who wants to run a marathon, especially the LA Marathon, is literally listen to your body. I think, it's a lot of beautiful energy around us during these marathons. And it's like, you want to go full throttle, but remember, y'all, it's a marathon. You have to pace yourself. It's not a sprint. It's not a quick little run. None of that. It's literally, pacing yourself. And I think that's the thing with life. We can't speed through life. It's like being patient through the next level and having grace with yourself as you go. Like, I'm going to keep comparing this run to life. So that's literally what I did. I was just allowing myself to just take it easy on those parts when, like, just in case I thought my knee was going to act up. And honestly, my knee did very well. I wore a knee brace. I stretched and stop and stretch. That's what helped me. I wasn't afraid to stop and stretch. And I stayed hydrated. Stop at every water station. Stop at those water stations, y'all. If you think about running a marathon, please stop at those water stations. Please feel your body, have the right nutrition, and, have like a coach in your ear, somebody who's ran multiple, who knows, who's experienced it, who could give you the right tips. I'm grateful for the community that I had, the run community, who gave me a lot of tips, ask questions. This is literally my first one I ever even thought of running a marathon, but the people that I was surrounded by, really helped me, and I took it in. I think sometimes we think, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but it's like, no, don't be afraid to ask somebody who's already done it, like somebody who's already a pro. You know what I mean? And then you do what your body feels. Um, it was just cool to be and I think the cool thing about the marathon is, your family could track you, they could see where you are. So I remember just running, getting text messages from friends and family. Oh, you're on mile blah, you're on mile blah. I see you, keep going. And you're gonna need that community. It gets hard. You get to a point where you're like, what am I doing? And just knowing that people are rooting for you, or like, make sure you like involve your friends and family, when if you signed up for something like this, your coworkers, whoever, some type of community, even if you're running alone, make sure you're just solid with yourself, and that you're speaking kindly to yourself and rooting yourself on. And I love that I was really proud of myself, because I was focused on me. Like, I didn't pay attention. Oh, this person's running faster. This person's doing this. As long as you stay in your own zone, you're going to be set, because at the end of the day, like, you're in your body, you know what you feel, and you're pacing it. Now, I would say the middle of the marathon was great for me too. Like I said, I took time to just have fun with it. LA is LA, it's home. And I soaked up the people around me, the views, the experience. They had these cool little stars that showed you what mile you were on. I took time to take pictures, and just enjoy the experience. And I think that's what kept me in good spirits. So I kept going. I got to like mile 16, 17. I actually got the privilege of so I kind of took like a time to kind of like walk some of it. And I got the privilege to walk with Nipsey Hussle's brother, Black Sam. Shout out to Black Sam. That was dope to meet him and talk to him and see him out there running for the Marathon Continues Foundation. So that was even cool. Like, I didn't even expect that to happen. I'm a huge Nipsey Hussle fan, for y'all that know me personally. So that was like, it added to my experience, of just enjoying and soaking up the moment. And then when you get to like mile 17, 18 of the marathon, that's that part I was telling you guys about, where, you literally see people finishing, but, you're still on one side of the road and you still have miles to go. But this is where a lot of cheer groups are. It's like, to me, that was like the most lit part of the marathon, was getting to that part, because that's where my run club was actually at. I had family over there and friends. And, that was my time to really show out. So it's like I used more of my energy to kind of run past and, get that love and soak it all in, and not pay attention to the other side of seeing people finishing, because it does mess with you, because, you've been running for a certain amount of hours and you're just seeing people finish. So when I got there, I felt very empowered. I even saw people there that I didn't even know were going to be there. One of my friend's sisters, she actually had a flyer with my face on and my name. And honestly, it made me want to cry, because it's like, especially when people pop up that you didn't even know were going to show up for you. So getting past that was cool, doing all that. Now let's get to the interesting part, where I just want to really get into it, where it goes with life and everything. Getting to I feel like my hardest mile was mile 21. And I say that because that is when you're literally on the loop for real. And, you're seeing people on this other side and you're like, when am I going to turn this loop and just end up back where I need to be, back on the other side with everybody else. And y'all remember those little stars I was telling you about, right? They actually have those stars on both sides of the street. So, it's cool, because, you see the star, you're like, oh, I'm about to hit another mile. Yeah. Man, when that little loop came, I seen a star and I got excited, like, oh, I'm about to be on mile 22. I get to the star, it says mile 24, because guess what? That was actually for the people on the other side. So you actually end up only getting one side of the street. And then, so I realized I still have more to go. Once I was on mile 21, about to go to mile 22, I actually got a very bad muscle ache on my other leg. And it scared me, because I was like, oh no, like, I'm not doing this. And this is when the marathon got hard for me, because, new pain had came in. I still had 4 miles to go roughly. And, that's when everything started hitting me. And I was proud of myself at this point, because instead of like dwelling in my leg hurting, this and this, I took the time to reflect on why I was out there. I literally thought of every single reason of why, what made me sign up, what's pushing me to that finish line. I sat there and I meditated in that as I was walking forward. I just kept pushing myself forward, one step at a time. And, people have motivating signs out there that helped. And as I walked, as I walked, actually, I started having tears come out my eye, because I was thinking of how passionately I wanted to finish. I don't know, y'all. The mind is very powerful. It's like once I did that, the leg pain had went away, and it just shows you how powerful your mind is. Like I literally saw how powerful my mind is and how powerful I can be. I felt really good out there. Like I felt like I was walking fierce, walking tall, running, looking good, and it mostly came from my mind because my body was aching in all kind of ways, but I didn't let my mind defeat me. And I think if you think about running a marathon, that's definitely one thing that has to be like worked on, because it does get hard. You have moments where it's like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? You do want to turn around, I was grateful for the type of training that I had for the LA Marathon, because the way the person that trained me designed it, he actually had it to where the loop seemed like it was further out, and it was cool because I was picturing the loop happening there, but it actually came closer, so that helped. So maybe if you're training, try running out farther to get your mindset, just to be prepared for the worst, prepare for something harder, I'll say that, so you're mentally tough and physically strong for whatever it is you're trying to do, or whatever race you're trying to do. And once I hit the loop, I was like, okay, I still got time to go. I just kept running, kept doing what I needed to do, and it just felt good because the cool thing about where my cheer group was, I saw them a second time. So once I hit mile 23, 24, no, sorry, 24, 25, I feel like I really kicked on my energy, because I was like, what, I'm gonna finish strong and go for my medal. And it was very inspiring. I seen people literally limping to the finish line, people older than me, and the determination on so many people's faces was very inspiring. And I just literally kept my head up, kept straight, and stayed focused on whatever goal that was. And I think that's what we have to do with life. There's people around us, they're working on different things. You got to stay focused on your goal and whatever it is you're going after. So I allowed myself to really be like, okay, the finish line is right there, and I pushed and I pushed. And I want to say this too. Another tricky thing about the 26.2 miles is that it is 26.2. So you're going to see that 26 sign, and you still got 0.2 more to go. So it's like, push yourself even past that. Making it to that finish line was amazing. It was an out of body experience. I cried so much, tears of joy, tears of everything. And, I just felt happy because of like all the work that I put into it. And, I want to say anybody could do it. Like I appreciate all the messages I received saying that people were inspired by me. They want to run one, what do you do? And that's why I wanted to drop this episode. I was like, let me share this, and going off of SpeakUpJV, it's all the stuff I talk about. Give yourself your flowers. Don't be afraid. I told y'all my theme this year was to let my light shine unapologetically. So I had moments where I was like, dang, am I posting it too much, or am I talking about too much? And I'm like, no, end of the day, this is my time to celebrate. And like, it's okay to enjoy a celebratory time, however long that is. We're deserving to be celebrated. There's no time limit on that. I feel great right now. I feel accomplished. I know how much work I put into it. And why should I dim my light? Because I feel like, oh, someone's going to feel this way if I'm posting it too much or talking about it too much. Like, no, end of the day, this is my accomplishment that I want to celebrate. And so I felt like going into detail today about how it went. And I just want to say, if you want to do one, go after it. Like I said, you take the time, train, make sure your body's healthy enough, you can definitely get it done. Even if you have to end up crawling to that finish line, it's definitely possible. Like I said, I wouldn't have thought it. I can do it, but honestly, prayer and my mental strength is really what got me through the most. Because I'm gonna be real, like, as far as training, I definitely could have went harder with training. I did my best, but there were some things I could have probably added more and incorporated, or ways I could have ate better and things like that. But, my mental strength is what really got me through. So, it just goes with the whole theme of this podcast of, being kind to yourself, rewiring your mind, taking care of yourself, self-love, and all those things play a part in goals that you're going after, and it actually makes the journey smoother. And then the community that you're with. I couldn't have done any of this without my community. And that goes with life as well. Any goal that you're trying to accomplish, your community needs, you need a good supportive community as well. But yeah, I'm literally in the celebratory time. Felt really good. I felt like dropping this video for you guys, just so, if I could give any type of encouragement. People wanted the details of really what happened and, how did it go? And, I'm literally a regular person who just took the time to train and do what I had to do to make this goal happen. So, all of our goals come with steps, and we literally can accomplish anything. Running has taught me a lot that so much can be accomplished. Don't limit yourself, and that if you literally follow the script, do what you got to do, you can get it done. And I'm grateful for that. I feel like I see life a little different now, because I'm like, dang, being able to do all that. I'm looking at my goals differently. I'm like, okay, I can definitely do this. I can definitely do that. So I hope this was a little helpful, or, made you guys even more inspired. And people out there who are thinking about running a marathon or looking into it. But I recommend, joining a run club, finding that community, run by yourself too. That's helped me. I think that helps me with the whole solo part of it. Because there are going to be moments where, like, you could be doing like a long run with somebody, and let's say they're faster than you, you might end up, kind of alone, or like kind of a little more behind people. So you have to be okay with those moments as well, because sometimes I think we get comfortable with like someone always being around us. And it's like, that has helped me. Maybe this may not help everyone. I'm just talking about my personal experience. The solitude with running has helped me as well. So, stay in your own zone, look up the proper nutrition, learn your body, take care of your body, nurture your body, and, go after it, and be gentle with yourself. There's no time limit. I feel like if it's a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever that is, like, make that a goal and go after it. But I love y'all. Hope you guys all having a great rest of your month. And yeah, I'll be back soon with another new episode. But before I go, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to the Event Wellness LLC, booking out with the Event Wellness LLC, massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, and health and wellness events. Ask for Michelle, book now at the Event Wellness. Y'all, please tap in. She got me right for this marathon, just saying. And also a big shout out to my newest sponsor, Culture Curl Studio. Calling all curl friends. We're Raquel Rico, owner and lead stylist of Culture Curl Studio on the island of Maui, and Waluku is the island's first curly hair salon. Be sure to follow them on IG at Culture Curl Studio and book an appointment today. But I love y'all. Have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. And we will be back soon. Bye-bye.